welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to one of the closing days of the DPC Division 2. My name is Dktruman, and I'm once again joined by the Brazilian man of knowledge himself, Bowie. And we've got ourselves another Brazilian team playing today. So, what's at stake?
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting match because Interitus, they don't care what happens here. It's all their pride, whether they win or not. But Balrogs, they actually have a pretty big stake in winning this match because if they do win, they do have a chance of actually having tiebreakers for going to Division 1. Can they go to Division 1 if they lose this, or they are like eliminated
If
for sure?
Balrogs lose this, then they are dependent on Infinity beating Gorilla's Pride to get another tiebreaker. If Balrogs win this and Infinity beats Gorilla's Pride, they're going to advance on towards Division 1, but there is also the offset chance where Balrogs win this, Gorilla's Pride wins their match, and then you've got a three-way tiebreaker. So they really do need to win this.
Yeah, like if they lose, they pretty much depend on the result. If they win, at least they have tiebreaker. Possibly they could also just advance. Very nice. I mean, I do feel like Balrogs is the favorite for this match. I think Interitus, because their mid player got COVID, I mean, maybe the points that they have right now don't indicate how good the team is. But still, I do feel like Balrogs is cut from a different cloth. At least this season, they've looked really good. They came from the open qualifiers just like Wolf Team, but they showed much better Dota. But it will be really cool to see Interitus kind of come back and at least prove to themselves that they are better than the points that they have so far.
Yeah, of course, not too much at stake, so some people might even consider this, a practice run, get some, because of course Balrogs are going to try their very best, but you could, try out some different strats. Not that they're, of course, going to do that, because you want to see how really you test yourself when your entire lineup is at full strength, but as you said, they've been plagued with some issues this season, and just the motivational booster for the next upcoming season would be a big plus for the Brazilian side. Honestly, would be a big plus for every Brazilian side out there to really have faith in the upcoming season, because Division 1, even though we're not casting that right now, it does have some very interesting developments since yesterday.
Yeah, Beast Coast actually losing to SG. We did see, No Ping actually putting a really good fight against the Predator, although they did lose the series. And if anyone's actually confused just because we're saying that Interitus, they don't really have anything to gain from winning this match, the thing is, even if they win, they're going to be tied in points with Omega and Wolf Team. And Interitus lost the series to both of those teams. So obviously there's no tiebreakers unless you're competing to go to Division 1 or being relegated, which means they will still be at 6th place and they will get their 7,000, I think it's $7,000 dollars for their DPC performance, which, is a decent chunk of money, but very much less than Wolf Team and Omega Gaming will get from their standings. And I think we are pretty close for the lobby to start, right? Someone said 1 minute, so
yeah, they're actually looking like they're gonna be on time, which is already a big plus compared to what we witnessed yesterday. But then again, if we get to see 2 maps, that's already a massive plus compared to what we saw yesterday. But let's try and forget that, erase that from our memory. Hopefully never repeat that ever again. But yeah, right now they are at their full battle strength. Do you think that Interitus will be able to knock down the Balrogs, or do you honestly think that the Balrogs are just one hurdle too high?
I think this is probably like 35-65, maybe 30-70, honestly, for Balrogs. They are looking really good. Like all of their matches. I think the only team that they lost to was actually Infinity, right? So they look really good. But I think it's possible, if Interitus gets a good draft, if maybe they win the first match, I think just getting that momentum for them winning game 1, I think they have a much higher chance of continuing that momentum instead of losing game 1 and then winning game 2 and 3. I think that is much more unlikely. And yeah, we do have a draft.
And we do have a draft. There seems to already at the start. I'm gonna give everyone a heads up. A slight issue with the game. There is a bug. I don't know how it happens. I don't know how to even replicate it. But you'll note that once the game actually does start, I will have to quickly reconnect because for some reason it puts it so that I have a player's perspective. So once the game starts, I need to reconnect because otherwise I can only see one team and whatnot. Plus you see his mouse in the screen the entire time, so it's fairly annoying. But we'll have to look past it because this game, of course, Bowie is still in beta. And it will forever be in beta.
I hate that bug. It's one of the most annoying ones. But interesting here. The first phase ban. That is not a hero we see banned that early usually. But looks like I actually didn't watch that many Balrog games. But maybe you can tell me if they're playing a lot of that, or if maybe that's just strategy that Interitus doesn't want to play against.
Well, to be fair, it is like probably one of the most annoying heroes in this current patch to deal with because it counters so many different heroes, and it's just very annoying. But it is also one of their most played heroes. OD, Kunkka, and Dark Willow are their 3 top picks for the Balrog side. So it's unsurprising that they manage to ban it out on the Interitus side, knowing exactly what's an annoying hero to play against and what is one of their comfort picks. And indeed, that one gets taken care of immediately. But a hero that we don't actually get to see too often anymore is the Hoodwink, chosen for the Balrogs first.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, I love this hero. I think it, because of the nerfs he received, maybe teams just got to... They just forgot that it actually exists, but you do have that mid flex. It is actually a pretty good support 4. It can be a decent offlaner depending on the matchup you're playing against. And it's a lot of like follow-up stun. I think you don't really want to have Hoodwink as your main stun, but if you already have something like a Mars or something that even Coil can be a really good follow-up stun to whatever other disable that you have. Oh, there you go. They even snatched that Mars away. And they get Rubik for the better Hoodwink spells.
Yep. Of course, not too surprising on their part either, because, well, in my opinion, one of the best players on the side of Interitus is Pimpoyo, and he's a very good Rubik player. Plus, Rubik lanes nicely with the Mars. It counters like any big ultis on the opposing team. Like Ravage, for instance, is not something that you want to pick up against a Rubik or Black Hole for... not that anyone plays Enigma, but it just makes sure that you can't pick half of the big heroes.
Used to be my favorite hero, now Enigma is again just forgotten. But such is the life of Dota. The cycle continues eternally, and they get Kunkka. Yeah, I mean, I like this. It is an opener that shows very little. This Kunkka can flex 3 positions, Hoodwink can flex like 3 as well. And both heroes, I guess Hoodwink very unconventional, but Kunkka, one of the strongest heroes of this patch for sure. So no problems there.
Yeah, can play, of course, as you mentioned, in multiple roles. Normally they tend to still play Kunkka in the mid role on the side of Balrogs for Robo Z, but it's still definitely a flex pick, and that makes everything, a lot tougher to really adjust. But I'm most certainly expecting it to still just be for Robo Z because he feels confident on it. And what is actually pretty nice is that, again, Rubik has some very good spells to steal from the Kunkka as well. Ghost Ship is a very easy steal normally. Torrent is a great steal. Anything that he upgrades, of course, later on would also be a plus.
Yeah. I do like the Kunkka also because it's a way to maybe mitigate and survive the arena. So having that damage mitigation to just throw the bolt on top of whoever gets arena is good, unless Kunkka itself gets speared, and then that's a little bit harder to come back from. But it's definitely a good hero. Yeah, as you said, Rubik is annoying, but provided he always torrents after the bolt instead of using bolt last, he should be fine. it's much harder for the Rubik to steal it that way. But let's see if he can keep that up. If he can make sure Rubik doesn't steal ball, because it is indeed so strong when he gets it. Like, the damage mitigation is insane.
And it's green. Well, if he has the Arcana, which adds an extra threat. You know. To be fair, it is actually the Rubik Arcana, which I personally also use because I love Rubik, and it makes everything nice and green. But it is, in a sense, a
pay to lose, right? Because you do differentiate.
It's a soft counter to your own hero, but it is so it looks so nice. However, you see a Rolling Thunder come through, and it's a big square, and you're like, that's not my teammates.
Very true. Okay, so they go Treant here, which kind of leads me to believe they... I mean, I like this very much because, first of all, they have Dire, they have the overall last picks on second and third phase, which means that whoever this Treant is buying time for will not only be a very scary carry, but will have the overall matchup advantage. So that's pretty cool. Whether it's a Medusa, Terrorblade, whatever it is that they choose, it will look really good.
It is an interesting choice, though, against Hoodwink. Very interesting interactions there, because, of course, Treant also always wants to stand next to trees, which makes it problematic. Add the Timbersaw in the mix, and this is a very troubling game for the Treant, because he can't, like, run anywhere safely in the trees or anything. Timber's going to chase him, Hoodwink's going to chase him. Plus, the interaction between Hoodwink and Timbersaw, if, the team works very well together, which... obviously, I expect the Balrogs to do exactly that. You can have some nice moves where you plant the tree on the Hoodwink so the Timbersaw can Timber Chain towards it, but that requires some expert communication.
Also, Treant can be used as a bushwalk target, so you gotta be very careful about that. I'm joking. It doesn't work that way, guys.
If only, because I always miss my bushwhacks anyway.
But Timbersaw, yeah, obviously it's gonna be super annoying. They did pick Timbersaw as a response to Treant, so that's scary. But there is a little bit of anti-synergy, right? Because if Timber, for some reason, cuts the tree that Hoodwink uses Bushwhack, you will lose the stun duration. So Timber has to be careful to not mess with
Timber being careful. That's a first.
I mean, Timbersaw players, they don't care. They just want to destroy everything.
The amount of times
sociopaths.
Did you see that happen with a Monkey King? Where your own safe lane Monkey King is jumping around and Timber cuts that tree and you're like, bro. Bro. But right now, the Balrogs, I mean, the Abaddon, I like it, but their lineup does not have much damage right now. It's very tanky, but they really need a big safe laner to try and peel through that tree and living armor.
I think they have a lot of damage, but their damage gets totally countered by BKB, which is like it really kind of caps their timings. Whatever timing it is that they have after 25-30 minutes when Interitus cores have BKBs, it will look really bad. So in a game where Balrogs can destroys the laning stage, they can maybe just win the game before Interitus even have those BKBs. But if it's like kind of even, then they might not even peak because those BKBs will come and kind of put an end to whatever it is that they're doing. I hope that they get a carry that actually does a lot of physical damage, because I think they lack that quite a bit right now. And they go for this Viper, right? So it's the counter to the Timber. It's probably going to be middle, although Mars and Viper can flex between themselves.
I'm actually curious. Why would you choose the Viper over, if you're planning on the Viper mid, which I obviously am expecting here, why would you choose the Viper mid instead of like a Quap mid, which currently is not banned, and I see every Quap beat a Kunkka senseless.
I mean, I think, yes, Quap is a really good hero, but at the same time, Viper counters Timbersaw a little bit harder, and he also beats Kunkka a little bit more, I would say. Like, it's not that Quap doesn't win versus Kunkka. I feel like Viper wins more versus Kunkka, and having the break is okay. But I agree. I think Quap is also really good. It's really about what the team is feeling. I wouldn't be mad about Quap being there in place of the Viper.
Yeah, I personally, I mean, Viper is like the anti-laning hero out there. Very good in the early game, slightly better in the, you know, early mid game, and then once you get to that late game, tends to be absolutely atrocious. But the plus is she does have that innate break, which is really good against the Abaddon and the Timbersaw. If you can, of course, one-shot the Abaddon, which it's not really like
Stay
Interitus
compliant,
have the
let's go.
greatest lineup to one-shot him.
5 seconds left.
You don't have to one-shot him. You just have to
Silence.
do the enough damage. You just have to do enough damage that he dies, right? So it could be 50% HP as long as you kill it with one instance and he's broken.
Dyer's turn to pick.
You're fine. Unless he presses the button, but they consistent. And they go Phantom Lancer. I like this. It's a response for the Mars Arena. You do have the Dispel versus Viper. And it is a physical damage hero. So I think their lineup on the Radiant side looks pretty good.
10 seconds.
Very balanced.
Yeah, I like the PL last pick, of course. Interitus can find a counter to it, hopefully. As a safe laner, though, there are not like 1, 2, 3 the greatest counters to a PL. The one I'd be thinking of, but you know, very rarely teams do go for it, would be like a Lesh safe lane, because well, the Lesh is like the strongest counter towards PL, but it's also, you know, it's a risky choice to make of the heroes
It's
out
a
there.
really good Lash game. I am sure they're not going to play it, but it's a really good Lash game. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, you destroy Timber, you actually destroy PL, you go Scepter so you don't care about Kunkka. There's actually not a lot of stuns because Abaddon, you know, is an Abaddon. I wouldn't mind it at all, but it's Interitus, it's not Team Secret, so unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see something that crazy. I think they probably wanted to go Dusa, so that's why Balrogs ended up going for the PL. Now Interitus is like, oh god, what do we do? Should we go Luna? It's not that great of a matchup versus PL anyways. It probably gets destroyed by Timbersaw in lane at tier 6.
Oh, my
whoa!
lord! They listened! Okay.
Hey, I love this.
Yeah, I really do like this choice as well. Exactly for the reasons that you mentioned. Great against all 3 cores of Balrogs. Later on, you of course also have the possibility of going the Ags, which surprising. Well, you know, it took a very long time until people realized that the Ags on Lash is actually really, really good.
You know what? I think I don't know why I said all the things that I said, because if there's one thing Interitus is known for is wait a sec. What is happening? Is something wrong with FCR's handle? Why does it show FCR on the right side, but it doesn't show FCR on his Leshrac name?
But it does show FCR Leshrac for me.
Really? It doesn't show for me.
Oh, well,
okay.
he is playing the Lesh. It would be otherwise.
Yeah, he's playing the Lesh.
Okay.
He loves playing weird heroes. You know, he's the Lone Druid guy. He's the Arc Warden guy. Sometimes I feel like they always go for the weird hero on him, and it kind of hurts the team in a way, because it feels like he really wants to go for the best counter, even if he's not that good at the hero, or if the hero is not good itself. But anyways, I love the Leshrac. I'm very hyped that they chosen this. I do feel like if this goes too late though, Leshrac kind of tempers off against PL. Like PL just becomes this unstoppable beast.
Yeah,
but good, you know, 35 minutes to win this game.
I mean, the shard is amazing on Lash. First of all, it's like if you have a static team fight, which of course against PL you're never gonna have a static team fight. It is really freaking good. You've got pushing power, you've got Roshan capabilities, but I agree wholeheartedly with you. You always have to be careful, especially if you're playing with a Viper core. Like late game Viper is going to do very little to almost nothing. So that is a little bit unfortunate. I am quickly reconnecting because of the issues that I previously mentioned. But yeah, I mean, the Lesh is interesting, and I'm a big fan of the Aghanim Scepter on the Lesh as well. So
yeah,
don't lose the lane massively is pretty much what I'm looking for. Okay, I gotta restart Dota completely. Yay.
we do have a pause, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I say
It's
pause.
okay.
Thank you.
We do have an incoming team fight, though. We have 4 heroes from Interitus in the high ground, and pretty much everyone from Balrogs on the low ground besides the PL. So we could see a 4 versus 4 clash in a second. Oh boy, the unpause is here.
I gotta hurry. Come on, more charcoal on my PC. Move.
Yeah, there's not really a fight. They're just poking each other.
For the people that are interested, by the way, which I assume everyone in chat is, the first server that they're playing will be Peruvian, second one Brazilian, and the decider a coin toss. So the slight advantage in that regard is should most likely be on the Balrog side.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like for some reason, Noping, they said that they wanted to play all games in Argentinian servers, and then when it came to the Thunder Predator series, they didn't do that anymore. So sometimes I just wish Valve would rule something about this, just so it was easier and you didn't have like all of this uncertainty, you know, about how servers work.
I'm still waiting for the day that we're gonna have international tournaments and you know, like a major from a distance. But then if you have, you know, EU versus SA that they're playing in Chinese servers where everyone has 150 ping. Where you find the server where everyone just has terrible ping and then everyone has equal bad luck.
I mean, I think I said this in the past. I really, really wish that we, you know, the Tesla company had, you know, just partnered with Valve, because when that, you know, satellite internet works, everyone would have like 40 ping to any server, and that would be when international tournaments could actually happen. But yeah, not that popular yet and super expensive. But you know, maybe one day we could have that.
You know.
Oh, that would be the dream.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay, D Flash. Rip.
South American Dota at its prime.
Yeah. You know what is one of the pluses though? You know, when I'm looking at the Americas, I saw stuff yesterday again. There's compared to NA, I mean, the plus sides, of course, I can't read it, but most of the time the toxicity is very much at a minimum from what I see from between these two teams. You know, maybe a tip here and there, but for the most part, they keep everything behind closed doors, which I heavily respect.
Oh wait, is NA like super toxic then?
Oh, Division 2 this season was absolutely dreadful.
Really?
You should watch those post-game interviews.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did see one piece of drama. I think it was Panda, T-Panda, that tweeted something about it.
There've been a couple, and also in game, you know, against each other, typing stupid things against each other because you know that's the pub experience. Some people say, but you kind of don't want to have that pub experience in a pro match.
Yeah. That's definitely not how the DPC should be.
And a lot of these
in my opinion,
South American Division 2 teams have been very, have just been very professional in their approach. And of course, some of them slightly fall off in that regard.
At least in game, right? Yeah, we do see some lobby problems, but definitely
but
in
for
game.
instance, these two teams, they were perfectly on time, ready, 5 minutes in advance. They were good to go, no problems whatsoever. I mean, right now, of course, having some internet issues, but that's just, you know, that happens.
Yeah, like that's out of their control.
At least they didn't wait for, you know, 40 minutes until they started the game.
Totally agree. Okay, so I'm looking a lot in this mid lane here, but you know, it's a very toxic lane that I should actually just ignore. This top lane is kind of interesting because I feel like it can go both ways. Like this Timbersaw actually counters the tree really well. I think the tree can die easily in this lane, but as long as it's only flash dying and FCR does well, I think it's fine. Like this Lash just needs a really good early game so he can snowball much faster than the PL.
The Timbersaw doesn't have reactive armor yet, so he's taking a lot of damage. Split Earth a little bit too far out of reach. Actually, the Lash is going for the Lightning Storm, so just doubling down on that magic damage, of course, because Diabolic Edict. Never mind, Diabolic Edict is pure. Why did I still think it was physical? Oh, mid though. Robo-Z versus Rajur. Tough lane, though Rajur is actually just gonna die. Haha, the tower gets first blood. Ooh, that's sad.
Went a little bit too far. Yeah, that's not great.
Stupid.
I'm pretty sure they picked that PL to, you know, stomp the lanes. It really feels like they wanted to double down on lanes and on early pressure with this Viper and Last Strike picks. But deaths like this hurt them quite a bit because you're supposed to be destroying the country, right? And right now he has more CS than you, and you fed first blood.
D-Flash dying top lane as well. Two great starts for the side of Balrogs in the lanes that arguably should be the problematic ones for them. Well, Timbersaw, of course, with a couple more levels, he'll be just fine. It's hard to burst him down. He gets the magic armor. It's going to be very annoying because the Treant can't really do too much against the Timbersaw for the most part. The only lane that really should be troubling should actually be bottom for the side of Interitus because, well, the Abaddon is just very annoying to lane against.
Yeah, but you know, I think Abaddon is in a similar position than the Treant. He definitely can die, especially if they can bait the shield on Berna and then go on the Abba. But so far, I think like this advantage. Oh, FCR. Very low.
Earth connects. Timber chain onto nothing.
Stupid.
Like, happens way too often.
Stupid.
No tree there. Let's try to timber chain. That's not how it works, but okay. But yeah, it is a dangerous lane. FCR, if it gets caught off guard, it could definitely take too much damage from a hoodwink Timbersaw.
Yeah, like the problem of, you know, heroes like Leshrac in the safe lane is that you don't have any sustain in your hero. Oh, Rockin' here could be in trouble. Nah, he's fine. So as I was saying, like you have no sustain. So if you actually get bullied like that and you never, it's end up spending too much in regen items, and you really just want to start snowballing into your farming items.
Oh, FCR misses the entire creep wave. Thanks to the Hellbear Smasher, the Tomato Clapper. Sexy Yogi went deep to get the kill bottom. But he died. And right now, Mars, he's got that helm with the Iron Will, so he's going to be just Gucci.
He's going for that armlet build, probably. Very popular nowadays.
Mid lane, Rajur. I mean, he is still dominating the lane, but the fact that the Kunkka got so much out of it at the start is already a big plus. Because you know that you already calculated in that lane is lost, but how lost is it? Rajur is actually going very deep here. Oh, Robo-Z takes down, and that is a huge kill.
Yeah. No TP for 70 seconds for that Kunkka. You have to walk of shame his butt back to the mid lane.
Ishak, Mars on the run. Burna not going to chase any deeper. With Pimp rejoining the lane, so no harm just yet. Net worth very even between the two sides. Ooh, D-Flash. Easy courier snipe. The advantage of playing Treant, it's a one-shot.
Indeed it is. 97 damage, no stat items whatsoever.
Hoodwink mid, dropping low, but big magic wand keeps him alive, and the turnaround is Robo-Z finding Rajur. Is it Rajur or how do I pronounce that?
It's Ryer.
Ryer.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna mispronounce that so many times.
It's okay. I don't really like that play from Ryer. He didn't really had like he didn't had any indications that the supports were showing in lane. So going that deep, you know, it feels like he got a really clutch kill. He didn't have to press the advantage that much. And once again, he might be in trouble here. Hoodwink still middle. No supports inside of Interitus.
The Rubik not really paying attention on the time to move. Haste Rune being popped by Robo-Z, and Rayur is going to get taken down again with right now his TP going to be on cooldown. He's still building those bots, but that's his third death on the Viper in the mid lane match. And Robo-Z right now, top net worth.
Yeah, that's definitely not how they wanted this lane to go. I think he's overplaying his hand, and that's hurting the game quite a bit because the side lanes definitely look better now. FCR is a little bit behind in experience from the Timber, but he has decent CS. And you know, the supports were definitely doing well.
I'll get over it.
FCR, top
Tava.
lane.
Bag.
It's right now going to be tough because Chakram's ready on Draken, so there's a lot of pure damage from the Timbersaw coming out. You get stunned one time, you're very likely to die on the Lesh because there's just, I mean, the Magic Wand is a pretty nice plus, but Treant can't really do much in terms of trying to help you if they get on top of you.
For sure. How's bottom doing here? They do have Arena ready for hijack, so that is a power spike that they have going for them. You know, PL is a hard kill. Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They could defend this though, if they want to use that Arena.
FCR gets sniped, broken, Magic Wand used. No one's TPing in to help him, but okay, now they're finally coming in. A little bit late, canceling the TP in the process. I mean, if they just, you know, sent in the Viper there with the Mars or even the Rubik with one of those two, they definitely could have been able to get maybe all 3 kills. Because all of their spells were on cooldown, mana was pretty much gone on the 3 heroes diving the tower, and you had a Lesh with level 6.
Yeah, and I mean, they had a lot of time for that TP. They feel a little bit lost. They will force this tower at least, so it's not the end of the world. But the 2 heroes that really need to be snowballing are looking mediocre at best. The Viper, you know, still has decent CS, but those 3 deaths, they hurt.
Yeah, Viper's of course not a hero that, I mean, I've mentioned him before, late game isn't really his thing. Especially not against PL, because you kind of do not anything against the PL. Depending on your build, maybe you go for like a Mjolnir build or the Gleipnir, which is honestly one of my favorite items in the entire game currently. But yeah, it depends on how you want to handle the Viper. There's a wide variety of choices you can go for on that hero.
Yeah, like late game is pretty, you know, open-ended word. I feel like Viper definitely has more late game now than he had, let's say, 2 years ago, you know, with talents, new items. But for sure, like if this is a 1 hour game, Viper doesn't really look better than Kunkka or PL for that matter. Oh, the kind of a battle between supports here.
Oh, Pimp going to get caught, his Courier gets sniped, and the Observer Ward is even still up in the process. They could deny it. Make sure he doesn't get the golden. Well, that's a painful death right there. So close, and they just fully dominate that Interitus jungle right now.
For sure. I mean, FCR is farming his way towards, looks like a Kaya Sanj. But I really like what Hijack's doing. He is actually giving up on the armlet to go blink. I think they really need to start making plays, or else this is gonna go out of hand very quickly.
Oh, Ryu getting caught top lane, does pop his magic damage onto Draken, who does take a lot of damage in the process, but not nearly enough. Because he does have a Hood of Defiance and Infused Raindrop, so pretty heavy counters to that magic damage from the Viper. Though the moment that they did get through that damage, you did see his HP melt quickly.
I really dislike his item build for this game. I think in a game that you die 3 times in lane, you cannot go travels. I really feel like he needed something else, you know, a hood or... right now, I feel like he needs to brow, and that travels doesn't really do anything for him. ZXCA? Probably dead.
He's gonna get caught. Almost snipes down D-Flash in the process, but still loses his life. And they finally get another kill on to Interitus, but yeah, Hijack's having a pretty decent time, but FCR and Rajur, especially Rayur, is dropping significantly far behind. He's going for the Dragonlance, so he wants to go for the right-click build, which arguably makes sense, considering Lesh, well, he's going to go for like the magic build, obviously. But I don't really, you know, it's a tough choice to make this game.
Yeah, like my biggest fear is the Kunkka, you know? I really feel like he has to play away from the Kunkka if he's gonna go for this build, just because the Axe is such an easy counter for that TP he's going for. Let's see how much he's gonna be able to keep up, if he can recover the farm. Leshrac putting pressure bottom, has a TP ready for this possible top fight.
Yeah, they need to win a big fight to try and get back control on in the game, because even though they've got a gazillion sentries in their own jungle, they can't get anywhere close. That is exactly why Ijak walks up the high ground, does get his arena out, but the Ghost Ship connects. X-Mark stolen by Pimp. Not necessarily the spell he wants in the situation, and he's going to be the second one being beaten to a pulp. Ryu coming through, but there's just not enough damage, especially with Lesh not joining in. Now he is here. FCR does join the fight finally. Draken ticks a little bit low, but FCR doesn't want to continue for the chase, so they send everyone on Interitus in the end to fight, but not a single kill to be secured.
A tithe to the impurities.
Exactly. And I think that fight had potential, but Ryer, he was a little bit too eager with the Nether Toxin. You really have to wait the Timber Chain cooldown if you want to use that, because it's so easy for the Timber to maneuver. They don't have that many stuns. The Overgrowth was already used, so because he didn't go Atos, didn't go any sort of lockdown, he has to be very careful. I don't think he can just throw it around like he did in that fight.
Yeah, again, you know, Atos would have been nice. Gleipnir is just amazing against BL, first of all.
Stupid.
Yeah, they had the
Brave.
dispel on Abba, so like I
Stupid.
understand why he didn't go for it, but their lineup just, once the arena gets used the way it did, right? The Mars just died inside of it. They really lack any sort of like reliable disable.
Oh, Hijack walking next to Zexa, and it's just such a scary moment walking anywhere in towards the well, right now the Balrogs jungle.
Oh, Chakram stolen. That's pretty good.
Though he's very likely dead.
He is.
Jane on top takes the kill. There's going to be the skewer. Draken push back. Doesn't have many stacks of reactive armor yet, but he does have Sexy Yogia to constantly give him the shields and the heals.
I mean, I kind of like what Interitus is doing right now, honestly. They are able to farm these 2 cores, whilst Balrogs only have 1 core farming. But there's already like a pretty decent network lead, so they really have to hold this tower. And right now with him dead, it might be hard to do.
Yeah, they're being completely outplayed. The high ground ward as well, finding a quick catch on the tree. Can't do much in that situation. Hijack X marks the spot. Torrent, Ghost Ship's available. The buyback comes through. They're going to send the tree to take a fight. They really want to take this engagement, but they need to get the catches. Something that they are severely lacking in on the side of Interitus is full hard lockdown, and they only find the Abaddon kill for that buyback usage.
Yeah, like they're really struggling with the reach right now, because the damage that they have very small cast ranges pretty much on all heroes. And so like Ryer needs to be in right click range, the Leshrac has to be really close. So even if they could have used the arena there on the Timber, both the cores that do damage were somewhere else. So they're struggling with, you know, not only using their spells, but do it all at the same time so they can kill heroes. After all, the Balrogs have very tanky boys on that Kunkka and Timber.
Timber also has the Yule Scepter in case he actually does get absolutely jumped inside the arena. Keep himself alive until pretty much the arena has dissipated. Pimp, X-Mark, controlled. The Rubik will be an easy finisher. No? Well, gets used up in the process, and the Chakram will cut him in 2. And it just feels like Balrogs, that there's no sweat coming through. It's just, you know, this is how they run it.
Yeah, it really, really hurts Interitus that they picked this Viper mid to stomp the lane, and the lane ended up going the way it did. Because, you know, they don't really have any safety nets right now, and at the same time, this Viper is not looking as strong as it should be. They are defending towers though, you know, tier 2 top still up. They do put a pretty good defense here with the tree and armor.
They're looking for a fight. FCR TPing in as well. Arena on to Draken trying to get the kill. He already used his Yule Scepter, so that's one big plus. Ghost Ship comes in. Can they get the kill onto the Timber? He's dropping pretty low. Overgrowth from D-Flash holds them in place. The Timber's still not dead. Draken on the run. Do they finally have the damage? Finally they take him down, but it was a 2-for-1 trade. X mark onto Ryur, and the Viper will be a third in favor of the Balrogs. So Interitus still heavily lose that engagement. I mean, that's kind of the downside of trying to throw everything you have on a Timber Saw as well. Like, he's probably, he is the most annoying one to kill of the entire lineup. Then again,
Yeah.
they have 3 heroes that are really hard to kill on the side of the Balrogs.
And one Abaddon. One thing that happened in that fight that was very unfortunate is that the spear that came from Mars actually pushed the Timber away from the Nether Toxin, so he was not broken. He wanted to like put him out of position close to the tower, but that also put him away from the Nether Toxin, and he was much tankier once that happened. So they definitely took a lot more time for them to get the kill. But the blink is up, so definitely potential here for more plays. Unless he dies, but he will blink away.
Lesh needs a little bit more time. He's going for the Eternal Shroud as his next item. A little bit of magic armor plus some spell life seal. Always solid. And then afterwards, I assume, you know, BKB. The most staple item on the Lesh, just so that you can run around the team fight without... Honestly, anyone on the side of Balrogs being able to touch you for the full duration. Like, they have nothing against BKB. The only thing maybe would later be the Hoodwink's level 25 talent.
True. It's definitely what I want them to build in this Lush track. They really need to use that timing, or else the PL, like, you get to a point where the PL just does so much damage that the BKB is meaningless. So I do hope that they force that timing once it's up, but it's still, you know, a decent ways away because he needs to finish the Eternal Shroud. Tier 2 tower might fall. Let's see if they can put up a defense.
I mean, they're getting to a point where their Slash is starting to become very scary as well. So that's one big plus. And the net worth advantage, even though it's slightly increasing after 19 minutes, you know, 6k is not the end in the world. And definitely retrievable. In the meantime, top lane, Ghost Ship was used. Arena as well. They get the control onto Ryur. But RoboZ skewered onto the tree. In comes Sexy Yogi with the big fat shield to keep his Kunkka alive. FCR, he's going to be lifted up. Does not have his Pulse Nova on, and he's just going to get mowed down. FCR, no buyback available. BKB root popped by RoboZ, and yep, Interitus need to walk back.
Yeah, that's the power of the Manta. Burna instantly gets out of the overgrowth, gets that kill, and yeah, it's really rough.
Stupid.
I
Brave,
understand the Kaya-san,
stupid.
you know, it's such a good item on, you know, pretty much all the intelligence cores, but I really feel like they don't have enough defensive abilities right now. The arena got used earlier, and now the tower will more than likely fall. So they need to keep farming these heroes. What is Viper going for? He's going for that BKB. And once the Shroud is done, we assume the Lash is also going for one. Kind of far away now with this kill. His death, I should say.
Yeah, you mentioned it previously as well. The Yule Scepter on the Lash being a very good choice. It's kind of surprising that you don't get to see it getting built, especially because, well, you can just turn on Pulse Nova, Yules yourself, and you do so much AoE damage while being invulnerable to any of the Balrogs damage. It's a little bit surprising to not see the that solid item being picked up, but as you also mentioned, you know, Kaya-san is just such a staple item in this current meta. Yeah, every Interior picks it.
It's rough, you know. It's hard to harp on the item. I feel like so far the biggest problem they're having comes from that bleed in the mid lane. You know, maybe if the Viper had a really good game, it would be like, oh, this Lash pick was so good and he's owning everyone. But, you know, though it is a very delicate game, very, you know, a small mistake will go really hard, and I think that's what we're watching at the moment. They're gonna try and force this tier 2 because they literally, oh, they're not, but Gross being taken, so that would be a decent call.
I mean, FCR is still farming nicely. The downside is really Ryur and Hijack are kind of poor compared to their direct counterparts. And with now the Heaven's Halberd also done on the Kunkka, that denies a lot of damage from this fight.
Oh my.
Hijack in trouble, and Hijack is done for Mistcoil being stolen. Not necessarily the spell that you want. Yule Scepter gonna catch out Pimp. That should be another kill being picked up. X mark FCR in the same time, a different space. Will be ran down, and yeah, it feels like the Balrogs is just running down everything.
Yeah, it does. It, like, honestly, the way they're playing this game is very, very fast. The PL was farming the whole time, but it really didn't stop everyone else from just forcing the tier 2 tower, getting that mid tier 1, and it's just an easy game for Berna. He's been AFK for 17 minutes. Now that the Fuse on Manta is up, he can just pick up Aegis. This is probably going to be all the tier 2s down. I think this game might take a little bit to end though, because I'm pretty sure that Leshrac is not going BKB, he's going to get a shard. And that makes going high ground really, really tough. But it might be just a slow bleed, because I don't think Interitus draft is really a comeback draft. It really was supposed to be ahead right now.
Especially once that PL heart is done. He's going to be really tanky. He can survive for quite some time against the Lesh. And yeah, as you said, they're probably just going to try and bleed out the map entirely.
Yeah, you get the tier 2s. You choke them super hard. I mean, if we do see Interitus coming back, I think they're going to start shining again at like 40 minutes. You know, if you get the Shivas on either Viper or Lash. Oh, kind of bad.
Gets himself back. X mark, Robo Z. Oh, he's got the shard. Pushes Hijack right towards him. Arena from the Mars being used, but BKB from Robo Z doesn't care too much. Does actually not connect his spell, and in the meantime, Hijack and Ryur will both get taken down. FCR is going to get surrounded by a beautiful army of enemies, and immediately after the overgrowth comes out, Berna pops his Manta style to get out of the route. That was instantaneous. D-Flash makes a fourth, and on the high ground, Pimp, he's going to be, well, the last man standing, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he makes one misstep and then he will be the last one falling. Because I don't think Interitus have much more to say this game.
Yeah, really weird call, honestly. The Viper was 100 gold away from BKB when they forced that play. Like, I'm sure the fight could have looked a little bit better if they waited for that. But I feel like they're probably kind of done with this game, you know. Once you go for those picks, you're really, really banking on winning your lanes hard, and that was definitely not what happened. You know, some of the side lanes were fine, but mid got pretty destroyed. Obviously, there is the ping advantage, but still, I don't think it should look like that, even with the ping disadvantage.
Yeah, was a tough mid. But was supposed to not be a tough mid, but it just wasn't his game. Tried to, I think he was a little bit too over-eager to take down Robo Z, and that kind of bit him in the behind. FCR doesn't have any way out of the X mark at all, so he's just going to get completely mowed down. The rest of the team, they're going to get dove behind. Hijack's trying to keep him at bay. The break doesn't really do much against their Baron because he just pops his borrowed time himself. Bimpoyo found out, killed off, GG gets called. Yeah, there was just nothing that they could do at that point. The laning stage really was the big problem here for Interitus. And they could not stop the bleeding, pretty much.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, like, the draft was really good. Honestly, I don't mind any of the drafting heroes that they went for. I think they played the first minutes of the lanes really well. But that's what happens. Like, sometimes you have that lane advantage and you think you should be abusing it a little bit more than you had to. And especially with ping, maybe you can get carried away as Ryur did, and things just kind of get out of control. It's, you know, it is very common. Like, it happens with everyone from, you know, 0 KMMR to the best players in the world. So I'm not surprised that it happened here. Maybe they should just try and go for something, especially now they're gonna have the ping advantage in the next game. Not go for this like lane stomp sort of draft, because I'm not sure you remember, but when we were talking about the draft, I was like, all right, they're gonna give FCR this Medusa, this like super late game hero, which usually makes sense when you have second pick and Dire. Instead, they went for just like, let's stomp the lanes at the end. So I think they kind of ran away from the direction that this draft could be even better. Not that Leshrac is a bad pick, but it's not really a Terrorblade. It does peak a little bit earlier, and with the lanes going the way it didn't even matter at the end of the day. I think any other carry could have probably had the same results.
I think, personally for me, I actually don't think there was much wrong with the Interitus draft. I really liked the Lesh last pick, and I'm going to stand by it. It didn't pay out. I mean, it happens to the best of them. But yeah, I like the fact that they have at least, the bravado to also go for a pick that is just really good for your draft, because, well, very little other heroes take down a PL in the end. But yeah, this, there were so many factors that were so annoying. Even I didn't even notice it during the game, but the Hoodwink went for Mage Slayer, which of course with his first spell, the coconut, whatever it's called, it actually is really good because it bounces to all your enemies, and then you get that debuff on the Lash and also onto, of course, the Viper, so the damage is massively reduced in that regard. So I really think that that's a heads up pick from Zexa as well. And just the heroes on Balrogs are really hard to kill, which, Viper is not necessarily known for a tank slayer in that regard. It's good for, of course, the break, but actually taking down those big bulky beasts in the late game is a bit of an issue in that regard. But that, of course, does mean that the Balrogs are very close to knocking down Interitus. Not that Interitus have anything to really lose, but the Balrogs have so much to gain here. Because whatever happens, they at least get to play the tiebreakers if they manage to win one of the next two maps. But for that, of course, Bowie, we'll have to go towards a short break to see what will be happening forward. Quick expectation, do you think we're going to get to see a similar draft in game number 2, or are they going a completely different route?
I think it's going to be pretty different, especially because they're going to be more confident with the ping. So let's see something I mean, it was crazy, right? The Leshrac was crazy, but go something more late game geared towards. Let's not give that Viper a Trier. I want to see a Void Spirit. I want to see a Puck. I want to see more action in the lanes, because they were very static, just farming, right?
Yeah, I want to see that Quap. I think Quap does about the same as the Viper, but then also has late game and a massive team fight. I think Quap is just like the better Viper currently, because the Dot does like about the same.
Really good.
Yeah, Quap's
really
good right now. But
and,
of course,
if you think you're diving, you can always blink away. Viper doesn't have that, so.
You also do have the mistake of accidentally blinking into the tower, but hopefully they don't make that mistake. Regardless, we'll be back for game number 2 after a short break. See you then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DPC SA Division 2 between Interitus and Balrogs, game number 2. My name is Dktruman and joined on the mic is Bowie. And well, Bowie, could you give us a quick recap of what transpired in game number 1?
Well, I think Balrogs had a really good draft, and then Interitus tried to counter that draft by picking early game-centric heroes that would stomp their lanes. Probably because they also felt like the ping would not really help them like play to the late game, and that didn't really happen. Specifically, Ryer got kind of stomped mid. I don't even want to say stomped. I think he kind of shot himself in the foot, pressuring more than he had to. And that kind of snowballed the game against the team that should be snowballed, and that usually is not a good sign. Let's see what they do now. I actually love the opener they have here. Spirit Breaker, probably one of the most broken heroes of the patch after OD.
And it's also one of Hijack's most played heroes currently. Loves to play it, especially in his pubs. I think he, by far, it doesn't even come close. But as you said, also one of the more broken heroes. OD also getting taken care of in the process currently. And the plus side of Spirit Breaker that makes it so great in this patch is that a lot of heroes like to split push, and against the Spirit Breaker, that is near impossible.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely good in that sense. It's also, I think, like the biggest problem Spirit Breaker had in a long time was the fact that he just farms too slowly. But they buffed Bulldoze and the bash damage enough so that now this hero can one-shot waves for whatever reason. So there you go, Spirit Breaker Quap. That looks amazing, right? That looks much better of an opener than their first draft.
Yeah, that's such a heavy meta pick, it's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Quap against Void Spirit, it's kind of a strange... Normally it's still Quap favored, but they can definitely outplay each other, especially once, you know, Orchids or Aghanim Scepter for Void Spirit comes in, or the Quap Shard. Like, a lot of silences in the game. Void Spirit, of course, can dodge the Quap's Q with his Dissimulate, but that has such a massive cooldown in the laning stage that most of the time, like, yeah, of course, it's nice, but it costs you a little bit much. So the matchup is slightly Quap. Honestly, almost every matchup is slightly Quap favorite at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely, that hero is really, really good. I think the biggest problem is that in the first levels, the Void Spirit is not going to learn to simulate just because he's going to struggle to get the range creep because there's way too much of a cooldown, I guess, downtime on the actual pressing of the button, the damage being done. So Cop can get the level 1 dagger off, but once they're level 3, Cop probably needs to max Scream of Pain, which, you know, still a really good spell. But usually Quap wins matches just because that heal from the dagger is insane at the moment. So it's, you know, it can go both ways for sure, as you said. I think this Grimstroke hero can definitely also have the Void Spirit kill Quap over and over again. Kaya Sanj is the reason this hero is really popular, but Kaya Sanj doesn't really help against that bug. It's so annoying, it's hard to click on it. Quap doesn't have, you know, amazing attack speed, so you can definitely get stunned by the Inkswell before you even destroy that, and then you're just dead over and over again.
Friend! Hello, friend!
And of course, one of the most annoying things is pretty much to counter out the Spirit Break and the Quap in a team fight. If they get tethered together with that Soulbind, then like their entire team fight is 3 times as hard to do anything, which is of course a great choice. But what? That's
Interesting.
okay, I guess
Yeah,
offlane Buck.
Yeah, it could be offlane Void Spirit too. They do like to run that in you know, the Spanish scene quite a bit, and they go this Abaddon Mirana. Interesting. I mean, I like Diaba. It's really strong against the silences that they have, against all of that damage. But I do feel like they lack a little bit of stuns for that Mirana to feel impactful. You know, Spirit Breaker charge is fine, but it doesn't last that much. You usually also push the hero away, so it can mess with the arrows a little bit.
I'm quickly going to check how much does he... Okay, so it's been a while since Draken has played... Oh, I can't even see him play a puck. No, either of the two, to be fair. It's Yeah, it's kind of going to be a question. I would assume Puck is better. I mean, Puck is better against Quap, so it could also be, as you mentioned, a Void Spirit offlane. Though it's been also a very long time since I've seen Void Spirit offlane. But I mean, I like it. It's solid. Of course, the Abaddon on the other side is going to be very annoying because he can constantly get anyone out of the stun in that situation. Plus, going on Abaddon is always absolutely dreadful. But the biggest plus is that if someone gets tethered as a Dream Coiled, they can just snap it and he gets rid of it immediately. And they, whatever safe laner, mid laner, whatever you got, they can walk away safely. Though the Troll, they are going for some off-brand draft here on the Balrog side.
Yeah, I think they went for this Troll because they already know what the lane is going to be, and it's a Spirit Breaker Mirana. Not the strongest lane, and also having that miss chance versus Breaker is really good. So there's a relatively high chance he would be banned. Now, talking about whether Puck or Void Spirit is going to be mid, I really think Puck should be the hero, because having that silence to make sure Spirit Breaker doesn't charge or a Baron doesn't use shield is much faster and easier as a Puck that has that spell already, over a Void Spirit that will have to buy eggs to eventually be able to use that. So I think the Puck should get the farm priority. As you said, is also a better matchup versus Quap in general. So weird, that this Void Spirit is the offlaner, but they do have one game ahead, and I just want to see it. I think it's going to be fun.
Of course, Void Spirit did used to be played a lot in the offlane. Right now, I don't think many players still play him as in the. I haven't seen him in a while in the offlane, but it used to be a staple offlane hero out there. Can be very problematic to deal with in lane. I don't think the Abaddon has that many issues against a Void Spirit +1. The big question is, though, is this a Grimstroke 5 or a Grimstroke 4, do you think?
I think the Grimstroke should be in the same lane of the Void Spirit. It's pretty relatively easy to get the stun. I mean, you're in the Remnant, and then you just walk with the Silence plus the Inkswell, and it's a really easy kill. In the other lane, I think it's much easier for the Mirana to disengage, for the Breaker to charge away. So whatever the lane is, it feels easier. But Grimstroke could be a 5. I guess. Wait a second. I'm very confused because could this be Puck support and they're gonna
Arc Warden ban. They know exactly what FCR loves to play, and no one wants to play against Arc Warden, so
because they will have the lane advantage if they actually let's pick their offlaner here. So this could actually be Puck support and Void Spirit mid, and they just pick an offlaner that can do really well against whatever Interitus gets.
Could also be a Void Spirit 4. I've seen that before as well.
5 seconds.
Again, not like a common choice. Neither is the tiny safe lane anymore. But it's doable. Void Spirit's actually not that bad. Well, you can get away from the tiny. That's the only part of not that bad. Troll Warlord against tiny. I mean, Troll should just be able to pop his ulti and go absolutely ham. Tiny, of course, will eat him away.
Quap carry. It has to be Quap carry. I don't see the value of playing this Tiny as a carry right now.
Mirana carry, let's go. No, Abaddon. Abaddon, bring in the K1.
Legion Commander.
Okay.
So it is gonna be the Legion.
Double duel. That's pretty
yeah,
nice.
It's gonna be Tiny in the mid lane. Quap, I like that they went the Legion. It's gonna have that dispel, so they do counter that lane in a way with that last pick. That's pretty cool. And it's going to be a sexy Yogi Grim, so a 5 Grim and a Void Spirit 4, as you said. Very cool.
Yep, and as you mentioned, FCR playing the safe lane Quap. I have actually not had the honor of being able to cover that just yet, but I am.
Might be the first carry Quap of South America, honestly, because very few players in South America apparently like to do this or have practiced it. So I'm happy. This is the first time. This is my first time as well. It's gonna be beautiful.
Okay, well, the first time for everything. Of course, you did previously mention one very important factor, and that is that FCR plays very weird heroes amongst like the heroes that he plays. I'm quickly just listing off of the heroes that I'm seeing on his, his Dota buff page. Arc Warden, you mentioned previously, Lone Druid. I assume that's not a safe lane Timbersaw, but he also plays Io, for instance, Bristleback. You know, he plays a wide variety of safe laners, which of course does make the game quite a decent amount more interesting if you've got a player that can pretty much handle everything that gets thrown towards him.
Like he is the hipster carry of South America. Like if it's totally out of the meta, if literally no one is doing it, he might do it. I'm not sure if out of spite. I honestly don't know what's going on. Like he was playing the carry SF when very few people were also doing that in South America.
I miss
He
carry
really
SF.
likes to go against the grain. So I'm excited. I mean, let's go.
I miss carry SF. It came in for about a month and then it just vanished. No one picks carry SF anymore. And I loved how it just nearly won every lane it played.
You should have known better.
Just get all of those denies. It feels so good, right? You're taunting. Shadow Fiend is definitely like a feels-good type of hero. It's kind of like anti-mage. Like, the animation is amazing. SF has a really good taunt.
On the other hand, there's also Weaver in the game, and he's got like the freaking worst attack animation I've ever seen.
It is terrible. I agree. It has to be one of the worst ones. Oh, they...
He thinks so, but then he would be wrong. Because there's, of course, an observer ward on his side, but it depends on where they're going to place it.
All right. Very interesting opener here coming
FCR.
from... Ooh.
Doesn't want
Okay,
to
he has
blink, but actually, Aether Remnant missing. Can he run away? He has to level blink. And probably should just walk back towards his fountain at this point.
I hope he does. But he's scared that maybe they're camping. Alright, it's gonna be fine. Yeah, this is not how you want to start your lane. Level 1 blink is pretty pepega, but it is what it is.
He'll have to live, you know, pun intended, with it. Nonetheless, I'm really looking forward to what the safe lane Quap brings to the table. Looks like he wants to try and rush, get his boots, of course, and then rush the Orchid, which in this game, yes, this is actually a very good Orchid game for the Quap. Silences are amazing against, well, nearly the entire Balrogs lineup.
Yeah, you do have the Dispel on Draken, though, so you have to make sure that he's not nearby, or you have to silence him so that your other disables don't get dispelled. But yeah, it can be really strong.
Void Spirit position 4. I mean, I love the fact, you know, there's a lot riding on this for the Balrogs. Very important match for them. But they are, you know, experimenting. They're showing us some new stuff. Interitus are showing us some new stuff as well. Both these teams not sticking to the... which sometimes does become very dull lane meta. Tiny mid. When was the last time I've seen that? Quap mid, Quap safe lane. I haven't seen that. Void Spirit 4 position. Also very rare to be seen.
Yeah, the mid tiny is a South American staple. You know, you're like thinking there's like 5 meta mids that you can choose, and you say tiny. You can be sure you're in South America, because here is where it is mostly appreciated.
Is it still,
Whether it's
what kind of build does the mid tiny go for these days?
you go phase blink for sure. Like the reason you go tiny here is that it's actually pretty good versus Puck. You have enough of a stun duration where he can't really phase shift the entire combo. It's a lot of burst damage, and you're a tanky boy, so you don't die coil mid unless there's a mid rotation. You have pretty good base damage, but it falls off. You know, it's really reliant on making sure that blink dagger timing works well. I guess it's similar to Shaker in a lot of ways. Mid Shaker.
I miss the mid shaker.
Yeah, I love
That was like
hero.
a miracle classic.
Especially now it has the the cleave thingy. I feel like it has more potential as a core, but not very popular at the moment.
That is definitely a very risky choice. If you lose, then you know, you're gonna get a lot of flack, and that's the worst part about losing when you try something out. You need to have
True.
a pretty tough skin.
I mean, Shaker does look like he has a decent skin, you know. Very tough. He's
Yeah, definitely leathery.
Leathery, yeah.
As well from Sexy Yogi. Pimp does have a leap. Gets out of range, but yeah, a little bit of harassing all the lanes. But no real big attempts on everyone's life. I mean,
the lanes are looking better though. I think I don't expect Riot to be diving tier 1s very early. Oh,
FCR getting aggressive. Bottom lane, I mean, it is very hard to melees against an Abaddon. You know, if it's an Ogre, kind of the same story. You get smacked if you're two melees.
I actually really love FCR's build here. He's just going for the full mana regen build. 2 Sage's masks coming in.
Like, also not going for the Shadow Strike, which is obviously, you know, not the greatest right now against the Legion Command. Top lane is going to be first blood though, onto Hijack.
Brave.
But yeah, Scream of Pain, good for farming, which of course as safe laner you kind of need to focus a lot on farming, and the fact that it can't get dispelled. You don't really want to level Shadow Strike, but do you then max level Blink after Scream of Pain?
I think so. He might get like only 1 point in the dagger.
Ryer.
Yeah. I mean, Ryer has 2 wards actually showcasing the position of the Grimstroke, so he knew he was rotating. Very greedy that he fights for the rune instead of just getting the bottom side one.
Even a counter would coming through, but yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Had a rough game previously. Now not the end in the world just yet, but definitely needs to make sure he doesn't go the same route as on that Viper.
Mm-hmm.
A rolling stone.
Alright, I mean, it is looking much better for FCR though. I think having this like Copper, yeah, sure, you have the Dispel versus Dagger, but you still like just kick Legion's ass in this lane. Pop is a much stronger laner than the Leshrac.
Robo Z, his bottle gets refilled by Zexa, so big plus for the Puck, who honestly is having a pretty solid mid lane. Of course, first blood definitely does help. Top net worth, it is Burna, and second being Robo Z. So great start, which the Burna troll looks to go for the Battle Fury build this game. I assume because he does have the Ring of Health marked up, and I don't really think otherwise, you know, what could he otherwise go for?
Vanguard? Let's go.
I mean, the immediate Abyssal Blade Rush, but that would be very interesting.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to go Battle Fury. He probably feels like they have a solid late game. It's not like Interitus can really siege aggressively.
Oh, that's FCR. D-Flash wanted him to snap it so that he could Aphotic Shield his Quap, but yeah, he was too low in HP, just snapped it, broke his neck, and died.
Sound strategy.
Yeah, and I think that's a big problem, like, of Quap this game, is that because you don't go Dagger, you actually get lower in the laning stage as you would otherwise against other heroes. So, very smart decision from Balrogs of actually leaving last pick for the offlaner. It gave them a solid advantage in that regard. That could be the reason why Puck got that kill.
Yeah, Ryer TP top lane, but couldn't get a catch on to the Troll Warlord, so might actually still get something out of the lane, and he does indeed. Kill onto Sexy Yogi, but yeah, the one that you want to kill off is Burna, because he's getting a lot in the lane.
Stupid.
That was a 200 damage swing because he had double damage on Ryer. Very impressive. He's gonna make that little stack here. He's getting pretty close to the Blink Dagger. Not really gonna go for that phase boots I talked about. He just wants to maximize the timing, which I don't mind.
Well, he knows that there's a ward nearby, pings it on the high ground. Little does he know, it's right in front of him. But yeah, the Puck again getting a refill bottle, heading towards the bottom lane, looking for a catch on to FCR, but D-Flash will just have to do for the time being. It's the Abaddons pretty much, like, it's the staple. You're gonna die many a times this game.
You might wish
wish to retract
Oh
your
yeah,
last move.
that's the life of the not only position 5 but position 5 ABBA. You maximize those deaths. Once again though, a lot of kills inside of Balrogs, already a pretty big net worth advantage. They really rely on Ryer right now. He has to avoid dying. Really needs the timing of this Blink Dagger to be fast so that they can start playing aggressively with the level 6 on the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, because of course, Quap, safe lane, it's nice, but it's not, you know, it against a Troll Warlord, when a Battle Fury Troll slightly heading towards the late game, you're not going to be able to outfarm him, not even close.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Like, maybe if you get Omega super late game, you know, Quap has Side of Eyes and Satanic Scotty, maybe, but the window where Tro is stronger than Quap is super long. Oh, there's a kind of a sexy Yogi just hiding over here. Seems to be.
That Scream of Pain could have killed him, but still don't know he's here.
Oh, use it! Oh, yeah, they finally get it.
FCR doesn't notice it.
Stupid.
He did ping, but I guess it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He even typed in sorry. But I didn't even realize that Burna was in the meantime being chased by Pimp and Ryur. Okay, that is actually a very big kill.
That was a blind kill, right? No wards. They literally just took their chances and they got it before the blink. Very nice. Unfortunately, the Mirana got the kill. You know, they could have maybe increased the timing of that blink, but he's very close nonetheless.
Yeah, tier 1 tower top's gonna drop as well. Hijack's level 6, almost level 7. He's got another strike coming in later. But that tower death. Tiny. So close. Just that 10 gold left to go.
Oh. Leave the creep! He's pinging it! There you go. Okay, he doesn't even wait for the creeps there. Wants to get the rune, but one of the many puck advantages is controlling the runes much better than Atone. And I think they're gonna instantly smoke. There you go.
FCR's just rushing Orchid. Doesn't want to get boots just yet. Bottom lane, Hijack. Bashes Zexa away.
Could be huge.
Will be just fine. And yeah, Ryur. Keep saying Ryur getting a one shot. Oh, the arrow onto Zexa. Oh,
what?
Though he is going to be just fine. Dream Coal onto 2. Goes in aggressively again. Now Ryur needs help. He's going to get dueled. The Tiny is in trouble. The charge comes forward. Does interrupt it. No duel victory at the very least. Zexa finally does die, but Hijack, Spirit Breaker will tick down as well because they just barely had the vision from the Sentry Ward. But that arrow was nuts.
Crazy? The arrow actually G-baited them, right? Did he actually intentionally take that arrow?
Nah, he definitely didn't take that arrow intentionally. But it's just, you know,
it ended up looking really good for them because they kind of YOLO for that kill.
It was pretty nice in the end, though a little bit unfortunate for Interitus that they only had the 2 rotating to get the kill secured. Sexy Yogi being charged, even though Ryur knows he can one-shot him, the Grimstroke. Like, Hijack gets the kill. It wasn't really necessary there. The Tiny does way too much damage at this point in the game if he gets on top of enemies who do not actually have a... Well, none of them actually have raindrops.
Orchid done for the Quap, so very quick timing here for FCR. 11 minutes, although the gold advantage is carrying me quite a bit. Biggest difference is actually the Legion and the SB. So let's see if they can put this Orchid to use. Oh, he does his EXA. Nice.
On the Void Spirit, Sonic Wave, and of course the 30% damage proc at the end of an Orchid normally tends to seal the deal. You can do the old turnaround. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
I mean, FCR is a mana regen addict. Look at this. He has the raindrops following him, so pretty much every item he has gives mana regen. If he doesn't have it, he's not buying it.
I gotta constantly keep spamming that Scream of Pain. It's actually max leveling Blink after his Scream of Pain. Which makes sense because he didn't go for boots just yet, so really needs the cooldown reduction on Blink. For the time being. Burner, top lane though. Ah, it's only D-Flash there. It's without Sonic Wave, you can't get him.
Looks like Yogi's dead.
Hijack, charging in. Big cat, sexy Yogi dead. Arrow lands onto Draken. Pimp is hitting some godlike arrows. The only problem is they don't really have the damage to take down Draken. 2 snap coils, but with the shield coming in, they'll just back off and we'll keep him alive. But
They have Blink again on Tiny. Is the arrow ready? No, they actually give up on it. Okay.
Hijack, Shadowblade being built up. That is always a scary prospect. Spirit Breaker with Shadowblade. Charging at you. You have no idea he's coming.
Yeah, the treads on FCR is now ready. They're gonna go for another smoke. Overall, the smokes have looked pretty good, and I don't like this smoke from Balrogs because they do not have coil. Oh, beautiful.
Arrow lands again onto Draken. They take him down in one fell swoop. And Interitus, very good move. Also makes sure that the Balrogs' smoke get... He was the only one that wasn't smoked, actually.
Yeah. They do place this ward, so they might want to keep the aggression. Okay, Puck.
Nutty.
Not sure about this.
But Arrow comes in, gets caught on the behind, and that's the Puck down. Zexa. Big ink swell damage, big stun. We'll be able to keep him alive. But that is a big mistake from Robozy. And honestly, a lot of them are lucky, but Pimp is hitting every arrow.
Dude, this guy is an actual archer. These arrows are looking... I mean, we just jinxed this one, but...
And now he dies, gives away dual victory damage.
Higher performance.
But, you know, so far, except for that last 10 seconds, cast his curse. Solid work so far. Jump in from Ryur, and they're actually dominating the lane. The game. The only plus side for Balrogs is the fact that Burna has a Battle Fury completely done, 800 gold into his next item, so he's pretty farmed. But FCR is right on his heels.
I think the biggest problem is that Trojas uses net worth a little bit better than Quap. So even though they are even, obviously the Tro's still gonna do more damage in those fights normally. But until there's no U-Scepter for the Puck, until there's no BKB, I mean, he's not going U-Scepter. He wants to go Blink because he's a greedy bastard. Until, I guess he's also trusting a lot on the Legion to press the attack, the silence. But yeah, until that is available for FCR, he can do a lot. Once that those BKB start showing up, his performance will hinder a little bit. But it's all about trying to snowball this window that they have, and I think they're doing a really good job. Tiny specifically, he had that death that we kind of complain about, but after that, they got kill after kill. The way he's playing with Pimpolho is awesome.
Yeah, definitely found many catches, many arrows hitting, and they have a pretty run at you draft. Balrogs, without the troll there present, their team fight. I mean, they also have a lot of damage and control on their side, but plenty decent gets circumvented by the Abaddon with just a Photic Shield at the right time, at the right place to make sure that all those stacking debuffs and whatnot get completely taken care of.
Time for smoke here. They do have this arcane that they want to use on the Puck with the coil. So gotta be very careful. Mirana might just eat the gank. Oh.
Bye-bye. Dual cast range is always amazing, but that was a little bit too far away.
Oh, they're gonna force this mid tower. This is awesome. Even if Diaba dies here, I don't think he cares.
Run, D-Flash. Oh, duel, not necessarily just yet. They want to pop it first. And he quickly runs back with Draken not being able to get the Blink duel onto D-Flash. Don't feed him that dual victory damage. Only on 10 in 16 minutes, so far so good.
Great positioning from both Interitus supports here. Forcing that tower, making sure that the smoke gets wasted even longer. The Mirana being the best here to eat that smoke and also not die.
D-Flash behind the tower. They're all so close, but Robozy is being charged currently. They've got the vision coming in. So Robozy, of course, spots out the Barra if he continues to charge, so he's going to cancel it. But,
very deep ward around close to the tier 2 tower middle from Balrogs, so nicely done. Ooh, nice. Nice toss.
Nice toss back. Draken
Arrow
gets
missed.
controlled. However, Soulbind double duel coming through, which is very risky. However, he does manage. He doesn't actually find a dual victory in the process. Change forward, Sonic Wave completely whiffed. However, they still find the kill onto Rosie regardless. And Zexa as well will be another one down. That was a very, very unfortunate whiff, but in the end, it honestly didn't matter at all.
Yeah, unfortunate. But yeah, the Vembrace pickup here on the co-op, that is even more, I guess, int, which is mana region at the end of the day. And it is also a tier 1 tower meant for Interitus. Really, really good. Obviously, this has been a 5 versus 4 for a long time because that troll is farming still. And once that BKB is up, that's when the actual game starts. So I hope Interitus can increase. I mean, they don't even have a net worth lead right now, but they ideally want to have that a little bit higher so that they can maybe kite Burna, or just make sure they can overpower Balrogs despite all those pickups that are coming.
Tiny is also going to be a little bit more problematic. He's building up the Echo Saber, so he might be able to bring in some of his own damage. Draken, he's 3-1-6, but I mean, a lot of these fights, he can't find the real connection. Of course, that duel was pretty nice. Unfortunately, didn't get any dual victory damage from it, but it's pretty tough for the LC to really control his opponents because they dodge it just ever so slightly. D-Flash this time, though, not going to be so lucky. That should be a free dual victory. And indeed, Draken gets an extra plus 20 damage.
I think this is the really, the biggest problem for Tiny is this window right now. He's going to finish his Echo Saber, and if he can use that to still keep getting kills, he might be able to finish the BKB. But if he doesn't, this here just looks so... It has this power spike at the start of the Blink Dagger to this Echo, but then it can look super dull. So I hope they keep playing together, don't really take the foot off the pedal, because that is how we're going to enable this Tiny to keep being relevant into the mid-game. Roche gets pinged.
Yeah, Troll, of course, can take down Roach pretty easily. Oh, duel immediately on to Pimp, and another duel victory for Draken, which is raking up quite a decent amount of damage, 50 at the moment.
Oh, Ryder's in a good position here.
He's looking for a different target, and that's going to be the puck. Ooh, they should be able to one-shot. Yes, indeed, they take him down. Burna popping his ulti, but Hijack is dragging him all away from the fight. And now Zexa is silenced up, but luckily enough, Draken is there to save his life. Actually, they find the catch onto Hijack in the end. They will find the trade onto Zexa, and in the pit, FCR, do you want to walk that close? I thought so. A little bit too risky for his business. Going on to Sexy Yog. Yes, Sonic Wave blows him up and pushes the other two on the high ground back. Avalanche stops Rayur going aggressive, trying to get the kill onto Draken. Buyback coming out from the Grimstroke. Burna BKB usage coming through. And a buyback plus a BKB forced out, but they don't lose anything on Interitus.
Very nice. It was really good that... or maybe it was a mistake for Burna actually pressing out when he was really close to the Spirit Breaker. So once the Grimstroke out ended because the status resistance, he was chasing the super fast hero, didn't really do any damage. Ryer lives and gets lots of kills afterwards. Very impressive. I guess everything started with that Invis that Ryer kept in the high ground there. So he was able to kill the puck right at the beginning. No coil was used. So he's still looking really good. I'm very impressed with the Tiny performance. Especially considering the lane wasn't amazing for him since he died the formula work.
I'm baffled that FCR is still right behind Burna.
Not bad at
Pop
all.
safe
That's
lane
the mana
doing
region,
a lot of
dude.
work.
You just farm everything. It's very less Shrek-y in a way, but you don't need to buy Boots of Travels because you're everywhere.
With that mana region, as you said, he constantly you pretty much blow up those creep camps. The jungle
He
camps.
doesn't even have the shard yet. Once he has the shard, it's even faster.
Dire structures.
The only problem is
Okay, they're gonna try for Roche here. Very interesting call.
do they have the damage?
Very fast. Yeah.
Abaddon does help quite a decent amount, of course, with the Curse of Avernus. Arrow lands on
Thing
top.
from the Void Spirit though, they know this is not gonna happen. He needed like a Blowthorn if they wanted to make this work. Yeah, the scan gets used.
The only problem that they're having right now on Interitus is the Spirit Breaker is having a pretty rough game.
He is. I mean, I think he was a part of a lot of very important kills, but he didn't really capitalize on the benefits of those kills. It's been pretty much just Ryer reaping a lot of those.
Oh,
Okay,
on the high ground.
they have vision.
Looking for the
Thank
puck.
you, Robo Z.
Charge coming in. One shot. Sexy York get down. Zexa taken down as well.
Really
Sonic
good.
Wave on the high ground. FCR blinks out of range, and Draken's going to be slowly chased. But the two cores are dead. Charge forward from Hijack, controlling Draken in the process. And Avalanche Stars Razor comes in. They get the kill. Right now, Roche is definitely a possibility. And I mean, honestly, one thing that Interitus are doing perfectly is their vision game this time. Every single team fight that they've pretty much had, they've had vision over the entire area.
Totally agree. Whether it was the Intestini or the wars that they place here, I totally agree. I think Balrogs, they're being very overconfident with the way they're taking some of those fights, and Interitus is capitalizing. So very nicely done. FCR still battling the troll for that top national position. And with the Lincolns, you know, that bug from the Grimstroke is going to be much less of a problem, and the duo as well.
They have the... Where's that neutral item? They don't have the neutral item, actually. The, what's it called?
Fake grenade. Oh, I hate that item so much, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, especially against... well, first of all, they have Mirana, so they have Invis detection. Second of all, to break the Lincoln Sphere, it's just such a value item.
I mean, against blink initiators too, like if you're trying to siege high ground and someone just fake grenades you for 8 seconds, you're gonna be that sad shaker that can't really blink, do anything. Okay, so they do have this Aegis on cop. Ideally, I think they want to wait for the Lincolns and then really force their hand. Overall, like the BKB on Troll, hasn't looked that good, right? I think there was 2 or 3 fights where he already used it. Yeah, it's a 7-second duration now. And yeah, they were able to kite that BKB pretty easily.
Ozaxa walking out. Ryer, they get the one shot. They get the kill. Eagle comes out though. They snap it, but of course, bulldoze means you don't get stunned for long. Draken's running in. And Berna pops the BKB, but half of his duration's already gone. Trying to get onto Ryer. Avalanche Stars, he turns him around. Ulti from the Troll, but the big Sonic Wave comes out. They finally do manage to get the kill. And the Troll heals up back to full FCR. He's in trouble. That's going to be the Aegis popped. And this Troll is going ham onto D-Flash. Can they get the blink away? FCR just get out of there. Oh no, he actually gets used up in the process. Silenced up. Can he jump? No, the duel just comes up in time. And Berna going nuts on the Troll Warlord.
Well, every time I praised Interitus, I actually jinxed them totally, so I'm not gonna say anything anymore. It looked like a decent fight, like the ult kiting the BKB was okay, but yeah, I think the Mirana just died at the beginning, right? That's why they lacked some of that damage to burst Berna after the ult was popped, but BKB was over.
Yeah, they did find, of course, the one shot onto the Void Spirit, but you kind of really are looking to just get rid of that puck immediately. Puck, in the meantime, also has a gem, so that would be a huge kill if they can secure it. This LC 90 dual victory damage, starting to actually hurt a little bit as well.
Yeah, that's always scary when it comes to Legions. I don't remember who said it. I think it was Trent in a panel that said that Legion is one of the heroes with the lowest win rate in the entire DPC. Like, it has like maybe 29% or something. So you even though like it always feels like she's scaling so much, sometimes it doesn't work. We'll see.
I mean, these
Whether
two
that's
are
gonna be
working
true
so
today.
well together, though.
They are.
The Spirit Breaker, they constantly are together finding kills. But yeah, I mean, Legion Commander is currently there are a lot of like off-laners that do ton of work, just massive amounts of work, but it's a lot of team fighting heroes right now that have been, you know, winning all the games. You've got Tides, Marses that bring out that big team fight cooldown that really bring the advantage. Because honestly, it looks a lot like even Quap, like it's such a lot of damage that the Sonic Wave brings to the table. 761 pure damage, AoE.
Stupid.
For sure.
Sorry,
Lincoln's now done.
7. I read the Agnum Scepter damage. But still,
okay.
You know, still a lot.
It is definitely a lot of damage.
Bada just charges right through them.
Just bada things.
He's got to be.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
he recovered pretty well in net worth, right? He's right behind Draken and has that Shadowblade BKB. So he's looking very strong.
Draken jumping on the high ground, looking for the duel, but they disengage. Mirana ult getting used. There's going to be a jump in. The shard is available. The charge gets Draken controlled, but there's the Burna ulti. And FCR is being completely locked down, taken out by Robozy. Ra, you're in trouble as well. Doesn't have anything left to throw out. They find the kill onto Draken, but they're going to lose 2 of their cores, plus the Abaddon most definitely as well in the end. Actually, Jack charging all the way through towards the top lane, making sure that at least one of the lanes is going to get pushed out. Just, you know, as you said, Bara things.
Huge mistake from FCR in that fight. They didn't have vision, and he blinked super aggressively, and he was, you know, the closest range from Troll. That's really easy. The way they were winning those fights was kiting Burna. You can just press BKB and ult on top of a Quap with no blink. It's just really easy. She also doesn't have BKB, so the net works on her. And I mean, just as easily, they're gonna lose a little barracks. It's just, you know, the power of Troll. This hero can make more mistakes, and your enemy can't really do a lot because you just take their barracks in 20 seconds.
As you said, the power of Troll can make mistakes. That's one of the pluses of the hero, especially with the item build he has. He's got a Satanic, BKB, ulti, that, you know, it keeps you alive so much, whereas a Quap, one mistake, you're dead.
Yeah. It is definitely a hero. I mean, Quap is a really good hero. Carry Quap is also really good, but to you, it's very fragile. And overall, FCR played really well up to this point, but, you know, one mistake like that can really turn things around.
Looking for a catch. Tiny does have himself a Ghost Sept. FTR wants to go the E-Blade as well. Charge up top. Gets Soulbound, so that's out of the fight currently. They get the kill onto Sexy Yogye. Jumping in, looking for Zexa in the process. Buyback coming through. They control up FCR, and again, the Quap is taken down. Big mistake. Pimp is going to be the next one down. They find a 2-for-2 trade, but yeah, FCR keeps on going a little bit too deep here. And I mean, once that Lincolns gets popped, he's an easy target.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he can't really play that way because he doesn't have BKB against the Coil of Puck. Even with the Lincolns, he's still very fragile. So unfortunate, because up to this point he was doing really well. Oh, Burna is just ulting the tower here. What the hell?
He knows they can't do anything about it, even if they jump him.
What a troll.
They don't have the damage going in from Burna, but there's a shot from Draken as well. Troll, he just turns around, hits him one time with Satanic, he's back to full HP.
Yep.
Stupid.
I will tear
Brave.
you apart.
Okay. The game's now very hard because a lot of the map control is on Balrog's side. Roche is about to spawn. They do hold this tier 2 at least, so they will have one lane of barracks to still defend. But I think if they don't really contest this Aegis, the game is over. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them YOLOing a fight. And, you know, even if it is a bad fight, because I don't feel like they can defend at all if Tro gets this Aegis. I think the game's just over. And there's smoke.
Gotta be careful. So they're looking for a catch onto Burna. And he starts it off. Then the strike, but gets himself by Zexa. There's toss, but the duel coming through holds them in place. The Soulbind as well, very annoying. Dream pull on the backline. Big Sonic Wave. Burna dropping low, but he pops his BKB and ult back to full HP immediately. And everyone on the side of Interitus need to pretty much just disengage from the fight DC from the Bara, who has a buyback available, so he could still just, you know, buy back, rejoin the fight. But, I mean, the plus side is everything is on cooldown on the side of Balrogs, but the downside is everything's on cooldown on Interitus.
This was a really interesting play from Ryer. He actually had the money for a Daedalus, buys a Ghost Scepter to YOLO in, force the duel, where he pressed Ghost Scepter, so that's why he was alive during the entire thing. But, oh, let's see. Okay, buyback.
Coming through, Ryer will be taken down. Does also have a buyback available. Buyback from the Bara, but he's actually not charging.
Huh.
I guess he DC'd again. Or no, he did move.
Okay.
And now they're gonna go in, charge forward, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think they unpaused while Hijack wasn't back.
Probably, yes.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And now his Ags is gonna take a lot longer.
Radiant's bottom
Sad.
barracks are under attack.
Indeed, it will take a lot longer. I mean, the Tiny will be alive for the Roach fight. Still 50 seconds until that happens. They still have a smoke on the side of Interitus. Apparently they don't have one, so that's unfortunate. It's gonna be much harder to contest Roach that way.
Yeah, definitely felt like they could have done something if Bara bought back there and then actually charged, because he'd be there in like a second.
Half a second.
Yeah, maybe if you added a tiny buyback, you could actually wipe him. But I think, well, the TPs were a little bit far away. I don't remember if was the two tower still standing?
It was up for sure.
Okay, then they might have actually been able to get a decent fight going. Because Burna, there's a lot of gold if you kill him. Oh, Hijack. Man's playing a risky game, especially without a buyback available.
It's always a risky game when you're Spirit Breaker. Oh, well, I mean, look at that hero, dude. How is he supposed to wave clear like that?
Them spooter
That's so
legs, bro.
dumb.
Them spooters.
I mean, yes. It just makes me angry, honestly. I know I'm a co-op spammer. I know I'm a dirty little boy, but it just...
That sounds so weird if you say that. I'm a dirty little boy. Hijack in the pit, tries to keep them occupied. Avalanche stops, they get rid of Zexa. But there's the arrow coming in, holds them down for the duel. Sonic Wave pushes them back actually, but no buyback available anymore. Ryer needs to disengage, but he's not going to be able to run away. They're all going to get absolutely smacked down, and this just looks like the Balrogs. You know, it was a very close affair, but they've got full control over this game. The GG gets called, unsurprisingly. I do have to say, Interitus made it very interesting, but just a couple of fights where, you know, they got caught in a bad position really cost them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was a really good performance from Interitus, but their draft actually couldn't afford a lot of mistakes, and they made very few of them, honestly. But, you know, if the Troll can just go Battlefield, there's a reason you don't see Troll that much, especially Troll with Battlefield that much. Usually he gets punished. So even though we were like, oh, Interitus is looking pretty good, they're getting a lot of kills, at the end of the day, the net worth advantage was almost the same. They never really had us oh, you don't really see my camera? That's weird.
No, okay, wait, now it's fixed, okay.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Okay.
So, yeah, continue your train of thought.
Yeah, like, it just felt like even though they had an advantage, it wasn't maybe too big of an advantage because they never really did anything with all those kills. Their draft doesn't push towers, and, you know, as long as that Troll keeps farming, he will be the absolute beast late game. It was not even that much of late game, but you could see how fast he takes barracks, and it's just the nature of their draft. I think they went for a bet, they played well, but they had to play extra to win that game. And I mean, props to Balrogs, because now they have a pretty big chance of forcing a three-way tie, right, for the 2 positions in the to go to Division 1 next season.
Yeah, of course. For the people at home that are wondering what's happening right now, currently Infinity is 6-0, Balrogs is 6-1, and Gorilla's Pride is 5-1. But Gorilla's Pride still has to play against Infinity, So, there are two scenarios that can happen. Gorilla's Pride beats Infinity. If that is the case, then there's a three-way tie, and you're going to have tiebreakers between all three teams to decide who's going to move on towards Division 1 next season. But if Gorilla's Pride loses, then Infinity and Balrogs advance on towards Division 1. So this, I mean, it's also coincidentally the last game of the season. The very last one. Of course, there's an Omega versus Unknown, but there's literally nothing on the line on that game. But the G Pride versus Infinity game, that has everything to do with how this tournament, everything is going to finish, because that is just, it comes down to that one. Are we going to get tiebreakers or not?
And surprise, surprise, we will be casting those matches, I think.
Yes, on the 20th, which is Thursday, I think.
It's 3 days from now, so it should be Thursday indeed. That's gonna be really, really insane. I have no idea when the tiebreakers even start. Like, are we the ones that cast the tiebreakers? If for some reason Infinity loses to G Pride, I have no idea. But we will in 3 days. I think we will we will know that.
I'll probably have to ask someone specifics about that exactly, but definitely hope so, because I hope that it's going to be a three-way tie, because I want to see these three teams try to beat each other in best of ones. You know, throw everything at the wall. I just want to cast more Infinity because I love watching that team. But that, of course, concludes our cast for the evening. There is also, like, the next cast is going to be on Thursday here, of course. Then we've got two Division 2 best of threes. Then afterwards will be a Division 1, which is going to be Infamous versus Apu King of Kings, which I don't really know if there's much on the line. Actually, there's everything on that. That is a really important game as well, because
Visco's lost. There is a chance Infamous goes to the major if they beat Apu King of Kings.
The major.
They force. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The mild major. We really don't know what is going to happen, but Valve did say they are looking onto it, so I expect some sort of prize for the first and second place.
I hope
in Division 1, but we don't really know.
EU West, EU East, at least,
yes.
And China, Southeast Asia, or something along those lines, which shouldn't be too hard for them to put up. There are probably a lot of studios that want to help with that. We're one of them, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Division 2, the last match is where it all comes down. Division 1, there are a couple of matches. Honestly, there are a lot of matches that are like important. All three matches in Division 1 are really important. That is, it includes which team get possibly relegated, and which teams are going to go to the major, because everything is still possible in there. SA never fails to
Yeah, because we have like a confirmed tiebreaker already. Because regardless of who wins between Hokuri and Lava, the loser has to play in Oping. So we already have that pretty much set up. But there's the chance of tiebreakers for the first and second place as well. And that's where it gets super spicy, because we can only find out after Thunder Predator plays Beast Coast. So, I mean,
and that is the last Thunder Predator versus Beast Coast, the last game. Both the last games in both DPCs, DPC of South America, are literally going to be everything that you want to see. So don't forget to tune in on the Epulze channel. Don't forget to follow Epulze as well. And of course, don't forget to follow D2 Bowie on Twitter while you're at it. For all your beautiful cooking shenanigans going on. Man's a great cook.
Sometimes Dota tweets as well.
Yeah, but the cooking is, that's what we're here for. But yeah, that concludes our evening. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I hope you did as well, Bowie.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me, dude. It's always a blast. This time we actually got a full BO3, which is always nice. I mean, not full, but we actually had 2 games, which is the minimum amount you expect from a BO3. And yeah, it was a blast. Thank you so much for having me. And don't forget that we will still cast games together, guys. So if you did enjoy this, show up Thursday, because we still have at least 2 BO3s casting together.
Yep. And everyone at home, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Kampai. I'm not sure if that's